You know, I couldn't have picked a better setting, a more dramatic setting for what I am about to say in this video and what we will witness in this video. It's thundering right now outside. It's thundering and raining, and it literally started a few minutes before I decided to record this video. And it's so symbolic. To everyone out there right now, with this thunder and rain, God is telling us that we should be thunderous in the way we fight this. And after, the rain will wash away everything. Good will prevail. All lies will be exposed. And life will always beat death. Put up, YouTube. It's yours truly. Prove to me that you're alive. Food for thought. Huge shout out to the most beautiful woman, the greatest poet, Romania, my wife. Link is in the description. I will address everyone that took their time and left a comment and started a conversation for the last video with the man of the hour, Lukashenko, which this video will be about also. But this video, you guys have to listen to the end. If in the last video it was a short address that he had to his people, in this video this man sits down and in depth goes into this whole coronavirus psychosis, as he calls it. Now, again, I never said that I back this man up. I never said that I support what he has been doing. Because, quite frankly, I didn't follow him for the 30 years that he has been in power. Pay attention. For 30 years, this man, after the fall of Soviet Union and Belarus becoming independent, for 30 years, this dude has been the president. Now, of course, the powers that be let him keep that position for 30 years for whatever reason, right? But all of a sudden, whatever happened in his heart and his soul, he got in touch with the inner human being of himself, and he said, you know what? I'm gonna tell it how it is. Even if this is going to cost me my career and my life, which, you damn right, he's putting his life at risk. Because again, the powers that be, they have planned this out meticulously for a long time. A lot has gone into this whole coronavirus pandemic. Panpsychosis. But this dude said enough. And I'm so glad, I'm so happy that it touched so many of you, that you understood what I am trying to do by bringing you these videos. Because if you notice, I never ask for likes. I never ask for any kind of money or funds or anything. All I ask of you is that you join me You join us in waking up and providing at least some sort of future for our children. It just might be that the time for our generation has run out, but we at least can try to fight to secure some sort of future for our children. Again, I have translated this myself, and I did it almost word for word because obviously he's speaking in a Slavic language and you can't exactly translate word for word, but I've done my best. Better than any other translator you will find. So again, I will address everybody that left a comment in the last video at the end of the video. But for now, without further ado, again, I repeat, please try to listen to this as carefully as possible. It is a president of a nation that has ruled for 30 years is telling us this, is giving us this information. I'm going to talk a little bit slower than his pace, obviously, because I want you to get everything. But again and again, without further ado, President Lukashenko himself on this whole coronavirus. Thank you. We maybe didn't think of before. A lot of things are surfacing right now. How do you think we come out of these problems without great laws? Any politician, especially in my ranks, I am responsible for millions of people, and not only my own. I also have neighbors whose lives in a lot of ways depend on us. Any politician is supposed to weigh out his plans strategically to the best of what is possible. You asked the most important fundamental question, a question that many people these days are worried about and are already asking themselves, what will come after this pandemic? What will come after coronavirus? One time I asked, I don't know if this was heard, but I asked people, tell me, this pandemic, this coronavirus, is it man-made or not? I don't know for now, but I can suspect, but I don't write in the internet and not throwing it out there. I'm saying I don't know. I asked workers, engineers were standing around me. Where was this? Oh yeah, Bell Gibbs. Second question, I said, please tell me, this situation, politics and others, are they using it in their own goals or no? Don't you think that the powers that be are using this whole coronavirus psychosis, are trying to divide the world? And we keep asking ourselves, what will come after the pandemic? And look why I keep insisting that production continues, why I am so worried that people should continue to live their normal lives. To some degree, politically putting myself at risk, because I can only imagine what will happen to us after this pandemic. If we put everything to a halt, like most Lithuanians and Latvians and others, what's going to happen to us? Russia has oil and gas, which the whole world needs, including China. China is a huge financial powerhouse. America has a dollar printing machine. They throw out $2 trillion, another $2 trillion on the way. And my friend Antonio Guterres, sincere human being, has offered to print out 10% of the whole GDP. Have you heard? 10%. Can you imagine if the whole GDP is 200 trillion, for example? I don't exactly remember. The world's GDP. That means that 20 trillion they would just print out and throw it out there. Well, who cares, right? That inflation will start. They are just empty money. The dollar is losing its value anyway, gradually. And here, it will be a drastic drop of inflation. So, where will we end up with our ruble? Even more so, who's going to receive this 20 trillion? Who will be left with them? Isn't it going to happen again that the rich will get richer and the poor will get poorer? Of course that will happen. And can you imagine, we have been pushed to just stop everything and sit back and just finish eating all the leftovers that we have left. Even in Russia, you cannot say that those leftovers are huge currency-wise. For Russia, it's nothing. For 1 year to just sit back and use your leftovers won't be enough. Just like for us. And then, after printing out the 10% of the whole GDP, they will come to us on their feet and will say, here you go, here's a little bit for you. But you have to do exactly what we tell you to do. And that is exactly how the whole world can be divided. A conspiracy, right? But I am sorry, I am suffering over asking myself these questions. I am trying to look forward. What will come of Belarus later? And with our so-called independence? Isn't that a good question? It's actually a cruel question. After this whole pandemic, the world will never be the same. That's for sure, and that I agree with without a single doubt. The world will be a different place. But the other question is, where will our place be in this different world? That is the most important question for me. Not any coronal psychosis, not any info pandemic that will exist and that will pass. Month or two and it will pass. But the question will remain, where are we? Where is our place? And that question will remain for the rich in resources, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Armenia, and Kyrgyzstan. For Ukraine, that question will remain, and others that are trying to put into doubt the politics of the president of Belarus. For everyone, this question will remain. I'm just afraid that they won't divide us with war. And since we are talking about this whole thing, I know that you can see that Belarus, they are trying to pressure us now. Like, look at them, they are not reacting like everyone else. Listen, if everyone would act like we do in Belarus with this whole fight against virus, sickness, and there are just like here, they wouldn't forget that there are people with heart sicknesses, oncology, traumas, pathology, then there is simply pneumonia, and that's a serious seasonal sickness. Maybe then we wouldn't have such problems. You put on a box, coronavirus. You turn on your flat iron, coronavirus. You turn on your cattle, coronavirus. Of course we will react to that. But we don't forget, a whole lot of viruses exist, as always. But on Tuesday, I will have some reports back to the quarter of this year compared to the last years and the year before. And I will make an announcement about it after I have those numbers in front of me. And then I will offer Pertsov, Sidorov, Ivanov, whoever wants to and wants to be convinced, you can go wherever you want. Go to the infection hospital, go and check. Go here, go there, and get convinced. Of course, it's the easiest thing to do today. Just sit somewhere far and throw all types of trash into the internet. You can throw any kind of trash into that internet trash bucket. If a human being dies from pneumonia, they report to me about each such case. We only have had, thank God, only 4 people that have died from pneumonia, which coronavirus made the condition worse. Any virus will make any chronic illness worse. That doesn't mean we should all yell on top of our lungs about it. Look at what happened. Out of all this, they're hiding something. First of all, there is no way you can hide the death of a human being. Never. Because obviously, any next of kin or relative of that person will get a death certificate. There is no way you can hide such a thing. Like right now, I can take the report of first quarter from this year and the first quarter of last year, and I want to compare them and show you journalists, look, these are the numbers of deaths. Here are your people with heart conditions, and here are the oncology, then people dying from traumas, and here is regular pneumonia, and here is coronavirus. Let's account for everything in the past 2 months. We have less deaths in February and January compared to last year. So is that good or bad? With such a pandemic, as they say, we have less numbers of deaths. I'm not saying got sick or contracted some virus or something else. I am talking about people as a whole that have went to the other side. You can't make this up. And that's why now they are all screaming in mass numbers, look over there to Belarus, they are hiding something, and they are not doing what they're supposed to do with this virus. So I asked of my people, why don't you ask them what to do? They recommend we do first find the person that has the virus, then find all the people, whoever they have had contacted. In Minsk, we have isolated 360 people. We took all of them and placed them into infection units. Thank God, out of all 360, only 1 or 2 have stayed for treatment. All others, we sent away because they all had negative results. So if we see potential threat, we right away work on that threat, meaning we start treating that human being and whoever was around them. No one in the whole world is doing that. They are treating this like a war, like Italy and Wuhan, China. They surrounded the city. You can't come in or out and lock everyone in their homes. I'm not criticizing them because I don't know their situation, but can you imagine I isolate Minsk today and lock everyone in their apartments? How will all of our Belarusians react to that? And look, can you be sure right now that you don't have coronavirus? No, you're not. You're not sure, and I am not sure either. So now imagine, you don't know, and I lock you away inside your apartment with your family, and you don't know if you're sick or not. So what if you have a strong immune system and you're not showing any symptoms? I am sure that millions of people have already had many viruses, including coronavirus, and didn't even notice it. So now, I take you and lock you in your apartment. You can't come out. Oh yeah, most importantly, then that you get a written letter whenever you want to leave and go somewhere. That's insanity. Even at wartime, we didn't have anything like this. When people were face to face with death on a daily basis. So, I lock you away in your apartment, and by tomorrow, you get everyone in your household sick. And if I didn't lock you away in there, you would go through this on your feet. Isn't that the scenario possible? I am sure that this scenario is possible, and let any doctor say that I am not right. So imagine, I lock away 2 million people in Minsk. That is not a problem for me. I can neutralize the whole city in 24 hours, no question. But what will that cost us as far as human lives? How many deaths we will have then? I mean, at that rate, forget ambulances. They won't be able to do anything. We will just be coming to grab people in the most critical conditions and then right away hook them up to the artificial breathing ventilators. So what do you think we will save? Do you think we will save those people? Of course not. So let's stop all this foolery. We have always been taught you have to be in a place with fresh air, in the nature, sit in front of a fire, breathe some of that natural smoke, etc. I mean, you gotta fight. Yesterday, I heard a really smart Russian guy say, we gotta fight this thing physically. So I thought, how is that physically? Of course, we gotta work out, do sports, be out in fresh air, help our lungs. I mean, we all used to sit on a diet and be afraid that, me included, we used to be afraid that certain fats are bad for you. And now it turns out that certain fats can actually help your lungs. fight some
ребенка
viruses.
вывести куда-нибудь.
I mean, this is a
Не дай
specialist,
Бог,
a
это
scientist that
хотят,
is saying
прекрасно понимают. И
this.
я в эти
He's
игры
not
играть не
stupid.
хочу.
I think
Мы
he is
будем
right.
бороться с
And
любой
me,
болезнью.
from my own
Я не
experience,
выделяю
I support that.
коронавирус.
I take care of my
Любой
health
болезнью
and
надо
well-being.
бороться, потому
I
что
mean, I
человеческая
monitor
жизнь,
how I
если
feel,
она
better or worse,
исчезнет,
etc.
не
You know
важно от чего.
that
Ее
I don't
просто
change my lifestyle. I go to work
Но
out
главное,
and physically
что
train.
нас
I even
спасло
added
от
to
вот
my
этого
regimen,
бешенства,
but now
за
I
что нас
understand I
сейчас
gotta
критикуют
slow
на
down a little bit
границе,
since
на
we're
границе,
going through all
начали
these peaks of
всех,
viruses, infections.
чистить,
I shouldn't overwork
щупать,
my organism
тестировать,
too much
потому
because
что
at the
увидели,
end,
что
it all
эту
goes back to
заразу
our
нам
immune
завозят со
system.
стороны. Мы спохватились вовремя
So don't
и начали
overwork
границы.
yourself.
Ну, и нам
One thing I
китайцы
just thought
подсказали,
about that we have practiced
Они
today
у них опыт уже
because we go to the finals soon. I gotta train, I gotta play. That is a normal, regular life. But if such a moment we will come to that, we have to put out some fires, we will put them out. But we are not panicking. We are all doing what we're supposed to. We are not solving any political issues with the help of coronavirus, even though it's a political year for us. You know, if to be really honest with you, Volodya, today I could have announced critical situation, patrols all over the streets, everybody sitting home and show them, look at me, I'm such a cool guy, right? Before the upcoming presidential elections, look at what I can do. Take everything under my own control. God forbid that we literally have to live through such a situation where you have to restrict a human being to walk around the streets. Take his child, not a dog, his child anywhere. God forbid. You, like a father, should understand this perfectly. I am not going to play these games. We will fight any sickness. I am not separating coronavirus with any sickness. We will fight because if human life will disappear, doesn't matter from what, there will be nothing. But most importantly, what really saved out from this whole craze going on right now is that on our borders, we started to check everyone, watch them, feel them, test them, because we seen that this virus they are trying to bring here from abroad. We reacted quickly and started doing this work on our borders. The Chinese helped us in advising this, thanks to them. They have had their experience. The only thing they said to us is to sort out any people with potential virus and all the contacts. You take them, you isolate them. That won't do anything. They turned out to be right, but I told the doctors I better be over-prepared in some areas. Thank God we have plenty of these isolation chambers. For now, let the people sit there a week or two, take the first test, then take the second test. If everything is okay, let them go. Yes, it's a bit more expensive, but human life is more valuable than that. Then the Chinese told us, you are doing the right thing, that at the borders, everyone coming in, you are checking. You are a transitional country. You will not lock your borders. Just test everyone coming across. But then again, everyone shut their borders around us, so not so many people are coming in anyway. Russians or Ukrainians, we are not having such a large wave. Not Lithuanians or Polish people. We were mostly checking people coming from warm places, which were easier because there were fewer. And we discovered people with all sorts of virus, including coronavirus. So we isolated them and treated them accordingly. So there you have it, you guys. Some very important keynotes I wanted to go over. So again, he asks the reporter. Well, first of all, the reporter asked them of this latest coronavirus. It's showing us problems we maybe didn't think of before. A lot of things are surfacing right now. How do you think we will come out of these problems without great loss? And he continued, Lukashenko answers, he says, any politician, especially in my ranks, am responsible for millions of people. And then he continues on to say, we have to ask, and you ask, the most important fundamental question right now that all of us are asking. What will come after this pandemic? What will happen after this coronavirus? Everybody's worried about it. Then he pointed out what I showed you guys in the last video. He says, I was standing around workers and engineers and I asked them, do you guys think that this whole coronavirus pandemic is man-made? He tried to kind of be silly about it and say, I don't know, but he say, I suspect. There are things that I suspect. He obviously knows things that we don't know. And again, you guys, why is this so important? Because it's not like you're watching some conspiracy theorist talking about this. This is a president of a country. He's telling us something here. And then he goes on, he says, you know, they're thinking about printing 10% of the whole world's GDP, which is going to come to like 20 trillion. Can you imagine the inflation after that? And he says, who will get those 20 trillion? Won't it happen again that the rich will get richer and the poor will get poorer? He says, of course that will happen. He says this virus, this pandemic is going to divide the whole world. He says, I just hope they will not divide us with war. Another very cool thing he says, of course, look, I can shut down Minsk. Minsk is the capital of Belarus, which the population is around 2 million. He's like, I can shut the city down in 24 hours. Call for a critical situation. Have patrols riding around the streets with their sirens, and I'll be sitting back looking all cool, especially before my presidential election. He's telling us that it's a election year for Belarus this year. He could have used all of these tactics like many other people, many other presidents around the world right now are using this. He's talking about how there are many viruses. He's talking about how there are people dying actually from pre-health conditions, which the coronavirus or some other virus has made worse. He's also telling us that in Belarus, the numbers of deaths from any kind of death is not greater than it was last year. I mean, again, this is a person in the highest of the political seats in his country's telling us that. Now, if you ask me, are people dying from this virus? Yes. Yes, there are. They are. But how many people are dying? What are they really dying from? And most importantly, what I asked in the very first video from my Coronavirus Truth mini-series, I also asked and I told you guys that papers were signed by the powers that be, by many governments, especially the American government in 2017. Documents were signed into researching biological weapons of mass destruction. Bill Gates talked about this in 2015, and then 2 months before this coronavirus actually exploded, they had this whole Agenda 201 where they had a drill of a coronavirus pandemic breaking out, and we still think this is a coincidence. My question is, see, I wanted to bring you guys these videos so you don't panic. so you're not afraid. But I am not bringing you this video so you can relax. On the contrary, I am bringing you these videos so we say we are sick and tired of being lied to. We are sick and tired of surrendering our power. Over Wuhan, China, after they were locked down for a month, the atmosphere cleared 40%. Now, since they have went back to their old routine, they are saying we are going to double on all of the factory productions, which means that in another month, the atmosphere will get twice as worse as it was before. So now, I ask you, the atmosphere of the whole world got clearer around 30%, especially around big cities after this whole coronavirus psychosis broke out. So now I ask you, we're going to get through this whole coronavirus, right? We're going to double up on the production. What kind of world are we leaving our children? That means that we're going to get through this. We're not going to die. And a lot of us are going to die. But later on, a lot more of us are going to die because we're not going to have a world to live in. They have exhausted our resources with our work, of course. We surrender our life. We surrender our children's lives. We say, here we go, take my child and, just let them work for you. And in the meantime, screwing this planet over. Everybody's sitting around and says, oh, human beings are so great. We're going to get through this. How about because of us, this planet, the animals by the billions suffer from our doings every day. Not only animals, children are kidnapped, sold into slavery, women, sex trafficking. Millions are dying from drugs. And it's all because of our collective doing. We cannot point fingers and say, it is the powers that be, because we are feeding that beast. We are feeding it. We are the ones that are going to work, surrendering our rights, and are paying taxes. I say no more. Again, if we ourselves have screwed up our chance, let's not screw up the chance for our children. They are going to end up in a much worse situation. We are going to pass this coronavirus, but what will come in 20 years when our children inherit what we have left? They will be left in a desert-like world, fighting for water. Not even money, water. And guess what? 70% of the whole world are already fighting for water. I have seen children that when they go to sleep at night, they don't dream about new toys. They don't dream about a big house, an American dream. They are dreaming about a glass of water. I have met these kids. And we have done this. We have to stop feeling sorry for ourselves. And we have to claim our power back. We can no longer say, oh, these conspiracy theorists. Listen to this dude, the president of a country. He is telling us something, and he's saying, I am ready to die for this. I am ready to risk my political seat. Something is going on. When this coronavirus ends, it will not be the end of it. We have to stop giving these people power. We have to claim our power back. I have been saying this forever. Look, right now in America, there are over 400,000 infected, almost 13,000 deaths. And guess what? Most of them are black people. How convenient, right? What are the populations we want to get rid of? Spain and Italy. Let's get rid of the old people. In America, black people, of course. Slavic people that they have had a genocide over for centuries. Oh, it's okay. We already killed enough of them. We kind of need their land and their service for a little bit later, so we can kind of leave them alone. We'll get to them later. Lukashenko is talking about this. They are going to divide the world. He said after printing out these 20 trillion, they will come to us on their feet. There is a reason why he said on their feet, meaning that the rest of us will be on our knees. They will come to us. They will give us a little bit and they will say, you have to do exactly what we tell you to do. I'm afraid that to Belarus and Ukraine and Russia, they will do exactly what they have done to the native population of Americas. Send them to the reservations and have them die from alcohol and drugs and all kinds of and poisoned food. We are already eating poisoned food. In America, we don't know what real food tastes like. And that's the same for around the world. In these first world countries, we think we have it the best. We are dying from depressions, and children at a much higher rate are getting cancer. And look at these rates, right? So 400,000 people got tested, 400,000 people got the coronavirus. You don't think they are putting this coronavirus through this test into people as they have done with cancer before the whole vaccine comes out? Can you imagine what will be in the vaccine that they approve for under 2 years? Can you just imagine? We have to save our children. You guys, I'm sorry, I really get into this, man. Again, this channel, I don't ask you guys for donations. I don't ask for likes. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm making a call of action. Let's get up. You guys, before I continue, before I keep losing my mind on this, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I see that you enjoyed the last one. So really quickly, I just wanted to give shout out to all of you that have actually contributed to the last video. You know, you guys are very much a part of this channel. You contribute, and trust me, even by saying something, even by leaving a comment, you are already doing much more than all those people that are sitting at home with their news channels on, not doing a damn thing, that are ready to take their children to get vaccinated. You are already doing much more just by getting engaged and leaving a comment. So thank you. So to Astro Lands, thank you. Free Energy Educational International, shout out to you. Thank you. Kolmatoki Dadadzo, if I messed that up, sorry, but thank you. Dominic K, thank you. Tom, thank you. Steve Tunis, thank you. Natalie Kordanovsky, thank you. My brother Jim Dillinger, shout out to you. Lord Wellington, thank you. Robin Lamont showed that he doesn't have an ego enough to say love you, brother, and I love you back. Janshavik, thank you. Piece of Me, thank you. N Key, thank you. Charger 348, thank you. Christopher Green, thank you. The Road to Ireland, thank you. Tony Drake, thank you. Curious Person, thank you too. Then Ashley Mack left a snarky comment, but thank you too. Thank you for getting engaged. And I really pray that you guys really hear this, man. I really pray that you guys adhere to this. I am with you right now. We gotta fight back. Thank you so much for being with us. Prove to me that you're alive. food for thought. The Coronavirus Truth miniseries will continue. I will keep bringing you more stuff. We're going to get into what is the coronavirus and the virus called Cynthia. Remember, you guys, Cynthia. You can look that up. For now, huge shout out to the most beautiful poet of all time, Romania. Link will be in the description for amazing, uplifting poetry. We need that right now. Thank you, you guys. Uno. Good night.